NASCAR went to the desert, went to Phoenix for the Shriners Children's 500, and Christopher Bell gets his third straight win. It was another exciting race. Let's dive into what happened. The biggest story of the day, by far, the option tires. Uh, we saw, thanks to the option tires, a lot of comers and goers. Ryan Preece was the first one to really try out those option tires, and it took him straight to the top five. Uh, Obviously, the option tires, to kind of give you a little bit of an explainer, Goodyear brought two sets of tires. They had the primary normal tire, and then a softer tire with red lettering on the tires. Uh, those softer tires had more grip, but a steeper fall off rate at the end of green flag runs. Personally, I think I'd like to see the option tire just become the go-to tire long term, especially at a place like Phoenix where it's notoriously difficult to pass. I think we saw guys on the option tires able to carve their way through the fields, especially when other guys were on the primary tires. Now, if everybody's on the option tires, it's not going to go quite as well, right? Like you're not going to see as much passing, but what you are going to see is that towards the end of these runs, guys that didn't manage their tires properly are going to have more fall off than guys who took care of their equipment. So I think that adds an element to this style of track that maybe we haven't seen in a while. But it was fun to see, again, those guys on option tires, particularly guys like Ryan Preece, kind of carve their way up to the field when the rest of the field was on primary tires. Joey Logano was the leader for most of the early stage of this race. But Logano dips below the yellow line before the start-finish line, which is a penalty here, and basically has to do a pass-through penalty, loses the lead. That gives the lead to William Byron, who ends up winning stage one. The 24 car was pretty quick all day. Then we get into stage two, and there was some of the option tire stuff happened. You saw Austin Cindric take the lead on the option tires at one point. And then we had a McDowell flat tire that brought it to caution. And as we all know in NASCAR, cautions breed more cautions. We had the big one on the backstretch at Phoenix. And this is something that happens at this track just because of the way formerly turn 4, now turn 2 funnels into that backstretch. Just gets really tight there. And on these restarts, again, because track position is such a premium, guys are pushing really hard. I think it was 4 wide to kick this off. Ty Gibbs, Justin Haley, you had Chase Briscoe in there, and then Carson Hocevar up on the high side. Haley and Briscoe get together. The 54 kind of there on the inside, not really giving much room. If Haley doesn't hit Briscoe, I think Haley probably gets hit by Gibbs and kicks this off anyway. But as it was, Haley and Briscoe hit, and it kind of got sandwiched. Pretty hard hit there coming out of turn 2. And it just collected a lot of people. Hocevar on the outside was involved. Shane Van Gisbergen, his day ruined. Riley Herbst had a hard hit into the inside wall. Brad Keselowski. And then there were some more that didn't have as bad of damage. I think Austin Dillon and A.J. Allmendinger got little pieces of it, but nothing really significant to talk about there. And that was kind of the midpoint of stage 2, set up everything to happen afterwards. Logano, after his penalty, is able to work his way back up to the field to lead. But he was on the option tires. We saw some of that fall off we mentioned at the end of the run. Christopher Bell gets back by him and takes the lead and wins stage 2. Christopher Bell's just on such a hot streak right now. That 20 team has everything dialed in. Really fun to see. Stage 3, we did have an incident with Catherine Legg making her first Cup Series start. And I do have to talk about this at some point. And, I would have liked to have seen Legg make her debut on a road course. Obviously, she has a wealth of experience in different series. I think putting her in on an oval to start, maybe not the best choice. Good to see her in the series because, again, wealth of experience, has been driving in IMSA and IndyCar, and that's why I think maybe a road course would have been a better place for her to get her first start. But when she spins, it collects Daniel Suarez, who's having a good day up to that point. Real bummer for that 99 team, who has been struggling mightily this year. Even when they've run well at Circuit of the Americas last week and then this week, they just kind of get caught up in incidents. And this one was no fault of Suarez. I did hear that Leg was having some issues with the spotter. That could have contributed to the problem because she slid up into Barry to create the spin. But either way, it's just a bummer for this 99 team. And then Ryan Preece on the option tires again gets to lead. Now, here's the thing. The teams were given 2 sets of option tires. So once Preece got the lead in the final stage, he had no more option tires left. So if there was a late race caution, there was going to be some problems for these teams. And even with a green flag run going to the end, I think you would have seen the tire fall off, kind of equalize, and Bell would have caught up to that 60 car. As it was, we did get a caution. The number 23 had a brake rotor come apart, hard hit into the outside wall. Not the last issue we'd see with brake rotors either. So that was the first caution after the leg incident in stage 3. Then Ryan Blaney has engine trouble, brings out another caution. And then with 8 laps to go, you had Ty Gibbs have a brake rotor problem. That 54 team is really struggling. I think he's been in the 30s for his last 10 races, other than a 16th place finish at either Daytona or Atlanta. I can't remember which one it was, but kind of pushing the panic button on that 54 team. They have to get stuff figured out in a hurry. But that Gibbs incident set up a green-white checkered, another thrilling conclusion to a NASCAR race. Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin had a great battle, another clean battle. It looked like Hamlin may get ahead, and then going into turns 1 and 2 on the last lap, you thought Bell was going to clear Hamlin. Hamlin's able to keep it on the right rear corner panel, and they're side by side going into turns 3 and 4 to close this race off. Bell dove it in there pretty deep. It looked like he may have slid into Hamlin at the end, but I didn't see much contact. Earlier in the week we saw both Eric Almirola and Brent Cruz in the ARCA race on Friday slide into guys, put them in the wall, and win the race. Bell, it felt like this was a little more of a controlled slide. I don't know that he touched Hamlin much, and if he did, he certainly didn't use them up to the extent that we saw in the Xfinity and the ARCA races. And Christopher Bell comes away with another victory. Again, just a great start to this season for the 20 team. They seem really dialed in. I don't know if, Bell being able to run on the dirt circuit has helped this year. It certainly feels like he's more excited about racing. So a good call by Gibbs to let him go and race dirt, it feels like, because I just think it's really been beneficial for that 20 team to have Bell. It seems like he's just having more fun out there, maybe a little less pressure. Either way, though, I mean, as it stands right now, you have to look at Christopher Bell as a favorite for the NASCAR championship. Obviously, a lot of things can happen in the postseason, but this 20 team, 3 wins in the first 4 races, absolutely dialed in. And it'll be interesting to see if we can keep that momentum going at Las Vegas. I mean, a chance for 4 straight is not something that happens a lot in NASCAR. So we'll see if the number 20 team can capitalize. Obviously, Bell has run well at Las Vegas in the past. So don't be surprised to see him contending for his 4th straight win. Either way, stay locked into Apollo for more NASCAR content throughout the season. We'll have updates, written, video,